Hi everyone, we're at Ascot week, which is exciting. Josh here from RTP. I'm just going to touch on the Ascot stakes. I've backed a couple at on the machine. The Woods horse here, however we pronounce him, Bahudur. He's about 18.5 on Betfair, and the Joseph O'Brien horse, Small Fry, at 11.0 or so, around 10 to 1. I've just backed both on the nose. This is obviously one of those races where for nearly all of them, especially on the flat, it's you're making an educated guess as to what they'll do beyond 1 mile 6, 2 miles. Both of those are drawn wider. Also, I'm hoping, if I just touch on the pace, they can amble to the front. It can pay actually in this race, despite its very long distance, to have something on side lower. I haven't done that nor made the case for them, but I suppose put your hands together might be the interesting one down there. But there isn't loads of pace on here. The jockeys might be aware of that. I'm hoping Oisin Murphy kind of ambles forward. They have 4 furlongs or so up that straight before the bend to kind of get there, 3 or 4 furlongs, and the same with the Woods horse, who I'm hoping won't be too far back but can get out and kind of tuck in mid-division. Why have I fancied those? I'm just going to jump over to horse race base. Ascot stakes here. I use horse race base quite a bit for any trends research. There's 18 renewals in here. I had a flick through, but I actually didn't find too much. But there is one interesting stat, which is the number of wins the horse had in handicaps and non-handicaps, which you can see there. Those that are kind of inexperienced from a winning perspective haven't done too well. The play stats are fine. It's one of those that will be broken at some point, but they're 1 from 144. The last win was in 2012, as you can see. The last couple of years, the unexposed ones, those with the sexier profiles, sometimes short prices, including the favourite, 0 from 22, 3 places in the last couple of years. So more and more kind of lightly raced horses are contesting this contest, and maybe that will be a stat which goes again in time, or another such winner incoming. Knowing my luck, it will be this year. But if I just focus on those with 2 or more, so I select 0 to 1, apply not the rule, so this will just filter out those with 2 or more handicap wins. I can see the qualifiers using this now tab here. So by all means, pause this video and note down that list if you wish. If that 2 or more handicap win trend holds, I should say, 17 for the last 18, then the winner would be on that list, which is worth having a look at, of course, and working through them if you wish. I've done so, and for various reasons that the odds have landed on the 2. I said, if I just click this lad here, he is he's lightly raced but with experience, which I like. 4 from 10, 6 places. He knows how to win, and actually horses that won their last start have a pretty good record in this race. He did very well in the all-weather over the winter, looked progressive, possibly needed the run a bit at Kempton, shaped that way. Newmarket was interesting. He kind of cut through them and looked very dangerous, and then as if he was well ahead of his mark, then got outpaced and stayed on fairly well. I thought that was eye-catching. He's then won fairly comfortably in a 5-runner race at Goodwood, stepped up to 2 miles. I think he's going to enjoy a bigger field and a strong pace, provided he can get out and get in. He's a 4-year-old. He looks progressive, decent RPR there. Some of the form's okay. He stays 2 miles, which is a good thing, and that's something a lot of these in here haven't yet proven they can do that. Of course, what he does to 2 mile 4, we shall see. It's an extra 4 furlongs, of course. Good to firm ground, seems fine. He looks progressive. He's only up £4. Rab Havlin, his usual jockey's on board. Very experienced. From that kind of initial trends list using that one stat, I thought he was the most interesting. Woods does very well with last time out winners, as you can see. Of course, in these contests, breeding is always and can always be important. He's related to plenty of 1 mile 4, 1 mile 6 horses. You can see the sire has done very well in the last couple of years on kind of staying trips, which, if you like your breeding, might be worth noting. More generally, I think that's 1 mile 4 or further, or possibly 1 mile 6 and further. And yeah, for me, he ticked a few boxes on his profile. Looks a decent bet. If you prefer each way, it's kind of 14 to 1 or so, 5 places. I won't put you off doing that, of course. And we've now gone for Joseph O'Brien as well. This race, and I was lucky enough to land on last year's winner at 20s. Nothing quite that big this time, but it can be worth having. It's always worth considering the kind of jumps trainers and or the dual purpose, which of course Joseph is, although he does more flat racing these days, of course, but he's a superb trainer. Oisin Murphy booked, who just rides this course very well and has a very good Royal Ascot record. And yeah, I just thought he was interesting. Bought for 100k out of Gary Moore's by Australian Connections, same owners as Docklands, I think. Looking at the colours, they tend to buy them and want kind of cup and staying horses. This horse was ultra progressive for Gary Moore. He's actually won on the flat over 1 mile 6, which I like going into a contest like this. And he's been hurdling, which is no bad thing either for a contest such as this. But he was last seen for Gary Moore hacking up off 83 last June. Over 12 furlongs at Epsom. That was a fairly decent race, as were some of his others. He looked progressive then. He was then bought. It wouldn't surprise me if from then on this has been a sort of plan and they've worked backwards. And certainly I think that would have been the case since his last run in October. He wasn't fancied here at the Curragh, but he did lead, and trying to lead in those big Cesarewitch type races is very hard to do, of course. He was beaten by Put Your Hands Together there, but the fact he was unfancied, not a normal jockey on 113 days off, I'll forgive him that. I won't necessarily use that as a fact that he doesn't stay or whatever. Not much went right at Dundalk after that for whatever reason. He then had a break. It looks like to me that his flat mark has been protected by running him in 2 maiden hurdles. He at least arrives here now in fit and in form. He kept on well over 2 miles in that maiden hurdle at this style. That's a positive. Just because his well-being's clearly a positive, and yeah, there's some good signs there, I think. Oisin jumps on. I suppose proper good to firm's a real question, and what he does beyond 1 mile 6, so he might look dangerous turning in and then not do much. That is the nature of this race. You're trying to kind of educated guesswork to some degree using breeding, the training, previous horses form, of course, but plenty of these are stepping into the unknown. In any case, they were the two for me, that's that really. I'm not going to dive into all of the others too much. I did flick through the rest of these on this list here, and for one reason or another, I wasn't overly keen at the odds or their profile, or for every other reason. The instant expert might be useful. The one thing I was going to say actually, if I just select this class here, once the page loads, there we go. There's not many in here who have proven form in all codes at class 1 or 2 level. There's plenty that have had a go and not won. There's plenty of red you can see here. Small Fry ticks that box. That was that Epsom win. I saw that as a positive from a class perspective on the flat. Put Your Hands Together, decent as well. Obviously won that big race at the Curragh 82. He's £10 higher here, which might be a question for him, but there might still be a bit more to come. I suppose what put me off, I wasn't sure if he looked in great form, although this may well have been the plan as well. I suppose I didn't think 6-1 was necessarily overpriced. I could see him running a big race. I think proper good to firm is a question for him. He's never run on it for a start, and maybe at the odds that was enough to just put me off, but I could see him running a big race. I like the fact that Small Fry had that class 2 win, and even if you can see there's lots of red here, Comfort Zone made me a bit exposed, and Ian Williams' horse ticks that box and stays. He's interesting, but he looks out of form, is usually held up right out the back, and he's off top weight, which kind of put me off. I thought that would be quite hard and a bit of a struggle. If I just go to class 3 and above, obviously that opens it up a bit more, but we can see the Woods horse here. He has form at class 3 level. I changed the distance actually to 2 mile to 2 mile 4, just to see who had proven at least over 2, which he had, which I think is a positive, and having one of those on side, no bad thing either. And if I just do it to the flat, so that ignores the jumpers and jumps form, those with flat form over 2 miles or further, yeah, the Ian Williams horse ticks a few boxes. He may well run on into a place. That wouldn't be the biggest surprise. Comfort Zone, Mordor, and the great thing, obviously, you can click in all these and drop down in GG's. That was at Killarney, off 79, a lesser race. I did worry about his kind of class for this contest. We can see my other first selection here is proven over that trip, and Put Your Hands Together ticks those boxes as well, previously touched on. So, and Small Fry's only tried it once, and I said I've made excuses for that. So, there's a few more positives and interesting on that front, but there's a lot in here which aren't proven at the class, or necessarily even proven at class 3 level, let alone class 2 and above. Of course, stamina may be much more important in this contest, but in any case, ticking round to 12 minutes. They're my thoughts on that race. If you click the link below this video, there is a free report looking at a few trainer and jockey trends that I've stats, I should say, that I've pulled out, which you may want to flick through and have a look. But yeah, for now, thanks for watching, and see you soon. Cheers.